South Africa is seen to have the largest Rastafari community in the world, with more than 3 million recognized Rastafari. This population group can be compared to countries like Botswana, Lesotho, Swaziland, Namibia, and is close to outnumbering Jamaica in representation. While in South Africa, Rastafari are recognized as a significant minority, while playing a critical role in the interfaith movement. Rastafari contribute immensely to the promotion of the country's national identity. It builds on this through encouraging social cohesion, nation building, and supports the moral regeneration movement towards social transformation.
How the poor man's prayer this? Son of why? Emperor Selassie conquering land of tribe of Judah. Sambe. Abendi Shaza Bunyameni, Abendi Sia Ebufeni, Pantego Feni, Wabelo Wale Selassie, I want the Susaya Bobini, one the Bega Yebukeni, Abendi Shaza Bunyameni, Abendi Sia Ebufeni.
Rastafari is represented by the 12 tribes of Israel. In South Africa, these tribes are made up of 12 separate mansions or houses of order. The oldest order of Rastafari in South Africa have existed since the beginning of the Rastafari movement in this country. These are unique and original to South Africa.
Ilinja for oneness. Ilinja for oneness. Ilinja for ganja.
I'm Papa General from Papazela village. Got 12 tribes. Itira indela leyo kurungwana n'wana ka nyimba ka ba Jacob. Una tirho lo wa fanele ku tira. Kuna va profeta, kuna ti judge, kuna ti government. Se sweswo swi veka 12 tribes a henhla hi ku 12 tribes hi yona leyi nga ta va na government lowuntshwa loko ta fika judgment day. Hi ku 12 tribes hi yona yi presentaka vana va Jacob lava 12 ku ri hi famba hi ndlela ya 12 tribes of Israel. Hi karhi hi landzelela milawu ya Yehova, hi famba hi swiletelo leswi Bibele yi hi byelaka swona ku ri hi faneke hi swi endla. Hi karhi hi tirhela Yehova hi ndlela yaleyo. Hi ku tirhela Yehova ku ti boha wena self ku ri wena u ta tirhela Yehova hi ndlela leyi 12 tribes yi fambaka hi yona. Hi lava ku endla leswi nga tsariwa ka Bibele minkarhi hinkwayo hi ndlela leyi hina hi fambaka hi yona va 12 tribes. And then a hi tinyungubyisi hi swona hikuva loko ti nyungubyisa ngopfu hi ta va eka hi dyoha mahlweni ka Xikwembu hikuva hi lava ku va perfect ka leswi swi endlaka. Hikuva loko u ri perfect ka leswi swi endlaka swi endla swa ku na Xikwembu xi ku amukela.
Rastafari. Yeah, King of Kings and Lords of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, elect himself to lead this world. How good and a present, motor to educate and unity. It's like a preacher's omet that pour in the head of Aaron. Even Aaron's head ran to beast to the skirt of his garment. It's like a dew that descended in the mountain Zion. Therefore, the commanded a blessing laughing forever. Yeah! Rastafari, King Haile Selassie, the face seal. Glory, hallelujah.
Meet the sackcloth Rastafari, the Batawi or the hermit of faith. This order is based on the ancient tradition of wearing the sackclothes and selling the herbs. The sackcloth Rastafari are the herbalist healers of this movement.
Abotsene tsukup ngazko koira kai karoma ito ko banet sesonga saudare. Yeah, we're saying thank you to the Father for everything that He has done for us, you know, and kept us during the day. Yeah. So we're asking the Father to keep us now further safe. Yeah. As it come to the night already now. Yeah. Hawakare. Yeah. Tsidera gangansi. Onesini. Yeah. Koesma koidare. So, yeah, the night is already come to us now. Yeah. So, again, we can only ask the Father to protect us then further through this night. Yeah. Yeah, nanu bab kuire, infuna uire ida sida kadi uire. Yeah, kaisi dage go kabut kastit kaska ida corona amre. Yeah, it is just to say also nanu bab kuire. We asking also for the rain because the rain is very important. Without the rain, we cannot eat. So, water het lekker opgedroogd hier zo, ne? En hij was 21 dagen hier geweest. I respect, man. Blessed I give thanks, man, for the income, man. Give thanks, I yes, man. I know I can make it one, man. Selassie, King Rastafari, Jah Rastafari, King Selassie, the first and foremost. What the mighty God I serve, for it teach I love and loyalty, truth and right. For what truth is right, it comes love and light. Yeah, you see the story of Seklot. It goes to the ancient scriptures of redeeming, redemption, to find redemption or to redeem yourself. If you coming from a way that you did not feel it is good, so you wanting to lament in that way, is what they call second us or second ash, is to be in the creation and to lament, to cry, so that things can be better for you. So in essence, you're giving up all the worldly things in life to not to take part of the world anymore, which they call is a system. Yet we find our ways around the system as not to be a part of the system, but still to be in the system. So that means we are not really working for the system, but we are in the system, because we don't find that the system really works for us. It only works for the economy. So through that, a Seklot is something that need to it's a monkhood, basically within the mention of Rastafari. Yeah.
Nyabinghi is the largest order of Rastafari. This is a church order, resembling the hierarchy of the priestly order in a church. This is where the ancient and elder councils is held.
It started in Africa and it went abroad. The Rastafarian people were taken from Africa to the foreign country as slaves, and they went along with this spiritual thing of the Nyabinghi, which was within them when they were taken from Africa.
Melchizedek. This order is the ceremonial order of Rastafari. The order deals with the baptism and other important rituals within the movement.
My name is Gabriel Asher Christos, and as for my spirituality, it's universal. Because I belong to the universal order. So my spirituality is universal, meaning I can interact or relate spiritually to any form of religion, a denomination, you know. From birth perspective, I was born in Jamaica, Clarendon. But from Rastafari perspective, and my belief is that I belong to the Melchizedek order. I come from the Melchizedek order. When you talk about houses and orders within Rastafari.
Bakalipi Bakukanya, this mystical order of Rastafari, incorporate African healing traditions. Its primary function is to initiate healers who have spiritual connections to the ancestors and have received a calling to become a Mokalipi.
Abakalipi Bokanya is an institution of spiritual knowledge that is based on the principles of Ubuntu, Isintu, which is the core of African practice. It is an institution that teaches self-knowledge, as I've mentioned previously, but in that self-knowledge we have tenets that stress the fact that we believe as Abakalipi Bokanya, man is God and God is man. There is no concept above nature, there is no God above who we are, there is nothing above our reality. Now, based on that, we as Abakalipi Bokanya focus more on studying the self rather than the out self. Now, being the out self, we're talking about, we don't speak about gods in Abakalipi Bokanya, gods in terms of religious gods. We don't speak about your Jehovahs, your Allahs, and all of these other gods. The main God we speak about is the mirror image that you see on our altar there. So if you want to see the God of Abakalipi Bokanya, you come and stand in front of the altar and you see the God who is the mirror image of who you are. You understand? So it's all about self-knowledge. Know who you are, and that is our way of life. That is Abakalipi Bokanya.
Bakahasi school of thoughts. This philosophical order of Rastafari is based on Bantu cosmology, African spirituality, and black ontology.
The name is Shamuari Ketano. And our spirituality is Rastafari, because Rastafari is a levity that encompasses both our social, physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, and also worldview. So our levity becomes our spirituality, which is Rastafari.
Rastafari acknowledge its diversity and place emphasis on its commonality. There's a great display of interfaith tolerance within the houses. The Rastafari houses work and live side by side with each other. Rastafari carries the shame and fame of the larger group. Mistakes are made together, and collective survival is hinged on the collective effort.
We sing the same song, and then we go out to one lady bingi imbelela kutona inangati imbeleli na bobo chanda kuna same lady imbelela kwena ingati imbeleli imbelela risimu rimwe tsena differ lana la sikusitsanana leswi endla swa beidif ku hava swo tala leswi difference kweswona.
Yes, you see Watagwana. When I guana bobo chant, you find that differences is date. As a 12th tribe, we nail down. You see? we take the turban before we kneel down. We take the turban out. See? So you find when I visit Bobo, them know take the time out. But when I'm there in the house, I do what them do. I no take the time out. See? They really, as a Rastafari, we are not different Rastafari. Because I'm man, as a Papa Africa, every house, they call me. Yeah. When the Bobo chant they call a man, I go to the Bobo. I do what the Bobo chant say. See? When I go to Bingi, I'm a Bingi. See? And they appreciate it and they feel irate through that. See? So, it's give a nice strength. If you know, well, I go all over, there's a congregation of Rastaman. Really? They appreciate it and I. They love and I.
Now, for I and I, we don't partake of meat, because meat is something that is dead, you see. I and I don't partake of the dead in that regard, because the earth already, Mother, she gives us all food to eat. So I don't need to kill any animal where Mother already feed me, you see. Yeah, I want an apple, and Mother give me apple. I want the spinach, and Mother give me spinach. I want a pumpkin, and Mother give me a pumpkin, and Mother feed me all the time, so I don't need to take a blood in that way, you see. Yeah, and be the vampire, you see. Yeah, because for me, eating meat, if you eat meat that time, there wasn't food. But in this time, myself as a Rasta, I don't eat meat, because meat is a dead, you see. Yeah.
The most, at least the biggest difference between the Melchizedek order and the rest of Rastafari houses is that the Melchizedek priest and priestess are baptized people. We follow the at least Rastafari Levitic according to the principle of Christ. So yeah, say we belong to the Christhood order. So it's a big that's a big difference between us as the Melchizedek order and the rest of the houses like Bingi House or 12 Tribe or Bobo. You know.
We are baptized, we are a family which is baptized, which means we are born in the family. We are born in the family of Rastafari through that baptism, because through Christ, as we can talk, is to general with everyone through the same scriptures that we all use.
You have the washing of your feet also, yeah? Yeah, where, you know, like Christ tell you, say, as often as you do this, then it's in remembrance of I. You know, so we have that kind of ceremony also. The breaking of the bread is also a part, is another ceremony that we are involved in, you know. So there is a lot of different ceremonies within the house. You would say the house is a ceremonial house.
We are all the same with other houses as we grow the dreadlocks as a symbol of a Nazarene, because a dreadlock is a vow of a Nazarene man. And the Naya Bing is a vegetarian, is a pure man who not do iniquity. A Naya Bing man is a man who is always truthful to himself and to the others.
Oh, Tiwe, Mopiachangli Mudimukima. Hey, Wonkono Balela Matlala, Matala Babonaka Bashule, Babonaka Pagazamajo Malika. e ntshantse tshwengwe le nehe badimo ntle le bona ha modimo o thabela dikgarebe o thabela tse ntle di kakang.
Difference is that Bakiase School of Thought, it's a non-Bible reading school of thought. We deal specifically on Haile Selassie's teachings directly, not on the Bible strictly like the rest of the houses. Another thing, our school of thought, we are like having our own way of dress code. Like we are Black Table Society, we are recognized by our Black Taverns as a school. So it's our type of uniform.
Well, the commonality is that it's our centrality it's on Rastafari, you know. So Rastafari become the central point of who we are, and also the drum. You know, we all utilize the drum because there's the drum in itself. It's a spiritual instrument that connects I with the universe and celestial with the universe. So the commonality is us beating the drum, and those three drums, which is both the repeater, the gate, and the thunder. You know, so that's our key commonality when it's coming together in chanting, or when we're reasoning in a circle. When it's chanted in a circle because we embrace the fullness of life where there's no clear beginning or clear end, because spirituality has no clear beginning and end. We're continuous people. So our commonality would be on the drum, the circular movement, and also the colors that are being used in terms of the red, green, and gold, which represents the plight and struggle of black men universally. You know, so those are the commonalities of us and Rastafari in its totality, internationally or within the world.
The commonalities between Abakaliki, Bokanya, and other Rastafari mentions, I would think there are few. Number one, the acknowledgement of Emperor Haile Selassie, but in our terms or in our view, we don't view Haile Selassie as a god to be worshipped. We view Haile Selassie as a supreme being, a master of masters, an avatar of our age. In that sense, we view him as an example for us to attain to higher consciousness, instead of a god to be worshipped like your religious gods, your Jehovah's. We don't believe Haile Selassie made heaven and earth. We believe he was born 1892. Now, there is a commonality and a difference there. But the commonality is the acknowledgement of His Majesty Haile Selassie. Number two, there is the commonality of health awareness. In terms of Amarasta, they speak about ital levity. We speak about health consciousness in terms of herbal medicines, food consumption. Your food is your medicine. Number three, the commonality between Abakaliki and Amarasta is we are pro-Afro-centric. We are African, we are about the black God, the black man history, the liberation of the black people, the upliftment of black communities, the emancipation of the minds of our people. Those are the commonalities we have with Amarasta. In terms of the broader sense, we do not identify ourselves strictly as a Rasta institution because of the fact that there are many people of different walks of life involved in Abakaliki Bokanya. We have people who come from the apostolic faith. We have people who come from the Zion faith. We have people who practice the Sangoma traditions, who have no affiliations with any religions whatsoever. So it's a melting pot of spirituality. So when we are here, we tend not to discuss religion, but tend to focus more on spirituality.
Well, the main commonality is the acceptance and the realization of His Imperial Majesty as God and King, right? Now, with that, it's the looking at the levity. You do have a certain difference between certain ones and ones within, but the basically is most of us would profess to be vegetarians. would maintain our locks and maintain that, well, self-reliance rather than going out there and working for others and uplifting Babylon rather than uplifting ourselves. That is the basic commonality of the Rastafari, to be one and to get out of the depression of Babylon.
Every Rastafari mansion is maintained through a set of rules, which distinguishes one from the other. These age-old traditions kept the community safe during the trying years of persecution and denigration to maintain the Rastafari royal doctrine.
The key of rule of Israel, of 12 tribes. Yes, I.
Main rules of 12 tribes. Ku endla leswi swi nga tsaliwa laha. Loko hi ya ku prayeni kuna order leyi endlaka leswaku hi famba hi yona. N'wana n'wana u fanele va hluvule tintangu and then anga dlokangi xidloko. Loko va ri va ka mhani n'wana n'wana u fanele a bohi duku a nhlokweni leswaku a ta vonaka swa ku impela is a 12 tribes. And then xin'wanyana lexi nga kona a hi lavi ku endla leswi nga handle ka Bibele. Hi lava ku endla leswi fambelanaka na milawu ya Bibele. Hi leswi hina hi endlaka swona as a 12 tribes.
Our key house is 10 commandments. That 10 commandment is the key house of 12 tribes that we live with, and 3 appointed feasts as Ayanai festival, and additional festival like the birth of Ayanai prophet Marcus Mosiah Garvey, His Majesty Haile Him Selassie I, Earth Day, Rastafari, Selassie I. Because that 3 appointed feast is that every year we appear in front of the Most High 3 times a year. Selassie I, ever live.
Well, I would say Ayanai key house rule is to love and respect one another and show the respect also to others as an example, you know.
We have many key house rules, but the foundation is love. So it's based on love. Love thyself, love the neighbor as you love thyself. It's first from knowing thyself, the divinity of the self. This is the teachings of His Majesty that will make us not doubt ourselves that we are sons and daughters of the Most High.
Our key house rules is that we respect our Bantu traditions as we are traditional Rastas, unlike religious Rastas. So we stick to our Bantu, the one who we grow under from our family. So we still stick to those things and respect them.
The key house rules of our institution are made up of 3 principles. The first principle is Ma'at, which is 42 confessions of innocence, where each individual has to wake up in the morning and affirm to themselves that I will not steal, I will not commit adultery, I will not kill. And at the evening, coming back, before that individual goes to bed, he must affirm, I did not steal, I did not kill, I did not commit adultery. It's a system of self-regulation. The second part is the universal laws of common sense. The universal laws of common sense teach that you do not take that which does not belong to you. It's called stealing. You do unto others as you want others to do unto you. Ngesixhosa kuthiwa ine ethe ubungqukumbili bezinto. You give and receive. That's just how life is. That's the universal laws of common sense.
The key house rules basically is the creed. Right? Let the hungry be fed, the sick be nourished, the naked clothed, the aged protected, and the infants cared for. Now, with those principles, basically we're looking at full family, we're looking at community, we're looking at making sure the welfare of I people is there intact. So basically, is, like we say, is a one love with, you know, progression of Ubuntu-ness.
Each order has a dress code, which is maintained to ensure this order. The uniformity and discipline of the mansions create unity, identity, and provide a symbolic reference of their respective offices within the hierarchy.
Ka swiambalo hina ku hambana ka swiambalo un'wana un'wanyana ka 12 tribes una khala ya yena. As mina ni vona ni mbali people yi vula khala leyi ni nga ka tribe ya yona. Ni wa ka nyimba ya ka Levi va ka Levi va ni ku ambala people, and then sweswo va ka Dani blue Ruvini va Sliver sweswo mavona ti hambanini tikhala ta hina, mara ku na nkarhi lowu loko hi hlangana ku ri Sabata swa fanela leswaku hi mbala white hinkwenu because hi le ka Sabata wa vona. On that time for after judgment lava nga ta kumeka va ri clean va ta va mbele swimbalo swa white.
In the order of Melchizedek, we wear the clothes we wear. We use black colors, white colors, and purple. Black and white is a balancing of the energy. And the purple is for the overstanding or for the maturity within the order. It's for elders. The chama we use white. It's a part of royalty. We use linen. In a sense, it is the clothing that it is written in the Bible that the priest has to be given. When it was given to Aaron, priesthood, and must give him a turban and a chama. So it is part of that, keeping that tradition.
Well, we recognize black as the first light, you know, because even if you look at the world, you know, there's a big stigma against blackness, you know, but we understand that from blackness comes light, because even a seed, you know, in the ground is in total darkness or blackness. Even from the womb of a child, one is in total darkness or blackness. So black for us it's supreme. It is only through blackness that one can recognize the light. Our hair is bantu, naturally it's black, and that's why we don the black turban to fully embrace our who and what we are as black people. And our association with Ethiopia, would we say, is the land of the sunburnt people, which is in essence blackness. So blackness has always been scorched on, but we're saying we're holding on to blackness as a sign of life and not as a sign of death, because we know that the African man is the giver of life, or the African woman is the giver of life. So blackness, it's supreme.
We follow a strictly Bantu-orientated tradition. Now, different people have to dress differently. A little girl cannot dress like a married woman. An old woman cannot dress like a young girl. So we have those understandings. Now, in terms of men, let me start with men. Men, we have different levels of manhood. We have the children, which are below 12, 13 years old. Ngesintu city ingane, because we are not yet sure what will they become. They are not girl, they are not boy, they are not male, they are not female. Ingane, nobody knows what it is. It's a child. Now that child cannot be dictated to what or what not to wear. You understand? So if a baby girl, 7 years old, 8 years old, comes into the church with a trouser, it's fine, no problem. Ingane. Going up to intombi. Intombi is a different level. Nasebafaneni kanjalo insizwa abafana ngamakhwenkwe ngamadoda ngamaxhego. It's different levels of growing up. But the basic level is for the priesthood, men, we need to be fully covered. The reason why we fully cover ourselves with a garment that is below the knee is to represent or to respect the mother aspect. The reason why we wear a turban and cover our head, if not turban, the traditional headdress, umkhele or ungiyane. The reason why also is to represent the mother aspect. And right now I'm not complete for a gathering, but there's a level of priesthood that also wears an apron. That apron symbolizes servitude. We are here to serve the community, not to be served by the community. And we cover our shoulders with a shawl. Because whatever we practice is based on the mother principle. So as I am like this, I am representing my mother, wearing the dress, the doek, the scarf, which is how people perceive us when we move around. You understand? But this is the normal dress code for the priest. We don't have strict dress code for visitors or for members who are not yet in the priesthood, because we say that you are still in a probationary period. Same in the women's side. Women, when they come to the church, just wrap something around, just for the sake of comfortability. Number two, we don't dictate, hey, don't do hairstyle, don't do this. But once you are initiated into the priesthood, you are required to wear a garment, a shawl, just as the male counterparts. So there won't be any difference between the male priest and the female priest. We all look the same. Yeah, man. But also now, because we have traditional healers, izangoma, we have amapostola, we have amazayoni. So you'll find people coming ngeipiga, ngamacape wabo asesontweni, abanye ngamajazi, abanye ngamabhayi, and their traditional attire. So we don't have a really strict dress code, but only for the specifically initiated priesthood, where we are very strict now when it comes to dress code, because there is a certain thing that we are representing, which is the divine principle of the mother.
Jah is the name given to King Rastafari and widely used by all houses to refer to the Supreme Being, His Majesty Haile Selassie I. Jah is central to Rastafari faith. Jah Rastafari is also known as God the Almighty, the Supreme Being. Holding on to Jah means the faith in Rastafari, His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I.
Healing Jah for everything that is good.
Healing Jah for everything that is good.
For the Rasta man.
For the Rasta man.
And Rasta woman.
And Rasta woman.
Jah bless the congregation.
Jah bless the congregation.
With 3 appointed feasts.
With 3 appointed feasts.
With Passover.
With Passover.
And leavened bread.
And leavened bread.
And shelter.
And shelter.
Hallelujah.
Rastafari
King Haile Selassie the first.
Yeah, holding on to Jah. Jah is mighty, Jah is powerful. If I was not to have Jah, I was most probably be a gangster and in the prison from year to year doing wrong things. But Jah was the one who take Ainai out of Ainai pity
restore Ainai's soul, like the word say, he restore Ainai beside the still water, he become Ainai comforter, Ainai rod and staff, and he make Ainai cup overflow. Yeah. So through that, I hold on to Jah, because Jah for me is the highest, and I come to bow to the lowest. So yeah, like they say, 3 in a 1, 1 in a 3. Yeah, I see Jah, Haile Selassie the first, Rastafari, yeah, first King of Kings, Lord of Lords. In this place we call Africa, Sila, Aesa, blessed.
Holding on to Rastafari, or Kedemawa Haile Selassie Kehase, is to ensure to it that we restore the dignity of the African man and claiming our African roots as Rastafari. For Haile Selassie, I taught that it is important that Africans engage with the world as equals and not as sub. So holding on to Rastafari, it's about the restoration and hawking royally and principally, and engaging any institution or establishment that intend to oppress or suppress the African identity. So holding on to Rastafari, it's about that, protecting the African identity.
Holding on to Jah is holding on to the faith, holding on to the love, the first love. Because Rastafari is love. Rastafari is self-realization. So by keep on holding to that self-realization, you will be able to deal with the next, someone who is next to you.
Xikwembu xi tshama na wena. Tsumi ya Xikwembu yi nge suki ka wena loko nga endlangi swilo swa wrong. Hi famba na titsumi ta Xikwembu loko eka hi famba. Titsumi ta Xikwembu ta ku directa ku ri u ya kwihi.
If you Rasta, you take the vow of Father. I tell you must get have that hope that now I work for the Father. Yeah, not to play. You see? So we work to the Father so that no things that gonna corrupt we. Yeah. And to avoid those things that must not attract our youth and our family as a Rasta.
Ainai faith is that command and the festival that he did give unto Ainai, and most Iowa will love to read the scroll so that it show us direction to live, because Most High he did chaff Ainai that we have to keep his command from pupas and mumas, youth, daughter them, alipa the family. We have to keep your command. Selassie I ever live.
Holding on to Jah is basically holding on to yourself, your self-respect, knowing who you are, where you're going, where you're coming from, knowing how to move forward with that strength of the Most High within you. Now, if you let go Jah, then what is your direction? Where are you really going? If you have put your God as your, you know what I mean? So basically, holding on to Jah is holding on to yourself, your respect, your morality, your being within earth.
Holding on to Jah means, for us, holding on to that spark of light that was born within man at his birth. That thing that reminds us that we are one with God and God is one with us. That thing that reminds us that we are gods. We are sons of God. It's that light. Now, to hold on to Jah. If you read in the Bible there, they say, sing praises unto him that rides upon the clouds of heaven by his name Jah. Physically, as we see on earth, that is the sun. The sun rides upon the clouds of heaven, bringing light to the world, showing us a symbol that God is light. And that light chases darkness away. And that is the essence of being Umkhaliphi or Khanya. It's one who dwells in the presence of Jah all the time.